Coming up on this episode of Common Denominator.
The nightmare is the most important dream of all, and it is there to help you conquer that which causes you to feel powerless.
Hi, and welcome to Common Denominator, where we shine a light on people striving to make the world a better place. Today, why do we dream? What do our dreams mean? And can we control them? Lauri Loewenberg is a dream and nightmare expert who has appeared on CNN, Fox Business, Live with Kelly and Ryan, and more. She's here to shine a light on what we think about in the dark. With that said, here's my conversation with Lauri. Enjoy it. Hi, Lauri, and welcome to Common Denominator.
Thanks for having me.
So, Lauri, I'm so glad that you're a guest on our show, and this topic really fascinates me. Let's start from the beginning. Why do we dream?
Well, we dream because we think. Dreaming is a thinking process, and in fact, it's a continuation of your thought stream from the day. As you go about your day, you're driving to work, you're thinking to yourself, you're showering, you're thinking to yourself, you're running to the laundromat, you're thinking to yourself. And so that stream of consciousness continues as you're laying in your bed and you're drifting off to sleep. And once you enter REM dream sleep, that thought process picks back up and you're still thinking about your day and what troubles you and what you want to accomplish. But instead of thinking linearly and in words, you're now thinking in emotions and in metaphors because your brain is working differently when you enter REM dream sleep. So parts of the brain that control linear thought, for example, the prefrontal cortex, and that control rational thought are dormant or much less active. And the very emotional part of your brain, the amygdala, is highly active, which is why dreams are so emotionally charged. So you still got that thinking going on, but now you're thinking in a much deeper and more exciting level.
So it's interesting because I think of, the fact that we go to that state, and I'm a daily meditator. I meditate daily, and I think of,
Right.
That's kind of the state that I want to be in when I'm in meditation, because that actually, what I've seen in my life, it allows me to paint the picture, to visualize, and I think that the fact that you're able to manifest things from that state, is the dream state the actual truth, right? It's like all these filters, and is it like kind of like when you're in the dream state, is that really, really life, or is it, what we see daily?
It is your brutally honest, authentic truth. It's, some people call dreaming the language of the soul. Now you meditate, which is kind of like just one level below the dream state. When you meditate, you go into hypnagogia, which is kind of an in-between state. You're close to asleep. It's a hallucinatory, in-between creative state. It's called the rhythm of genius, that state of awareness when you meditate. So it's almost like the gateway to the dream state. So it's a great way to put your toe into dreams while you're still awake.
So, Laura, you mentioned REM before. Is that the state where our dreams are the most intense?
So REM is when we do dream. Now, there can be what I call dreamlets in different stages of sleep throughout the night, but REM is when we're bona fide, certified dreaming. And we enter the dream state, REM, every 90 minutes throughout the night. So your first stage of REM will be maybe 5-7 minutes long. And then your next stage will be a little bit longer. And then the next one after that's even longer. And then that last stage of REM before you wake up for good in the morning can be 45 minutes to an hour long.
Wow.
And so each one of those is a very deep thinking, laser focused, yet metaphorical way of thinking. And it's the way we problem solve. It's the way we come up with creative ideas. It's the way I look at it, our dreams as brutally honest commentary on our day.
That's
And so,
that's
go
so
ahead.
interesting. You talk about the idea of brutally honest, and I think of, and as a young child, I always thought about this, and it's super super hard, but to get to a state where everybody exists in that brutal honesty, so everybody kind of knows exactly what the truth is. There's no manipulation, there's no
Yeah.
games, and I think of like that probably would be a higher level of consciousness. Like that would be, if everybody got there. So that's why I think like that meditative or that dream state
Yeah.
could be just that goodness that even though we want to put a label on it, oh wow, that was terrible or that was good. I think that seems to be a higher level of being or existing.
I think that's a very great way that you're putting it. And I concur wholeheartedly. And it's why I do what I do, because I really want to wake people up to the power of their dreaming mind. It is the most powerful part of who we are. You can really get an edge in life and in every aspect of your life, your relationships, your behaviors, your career, your personal goals, the past that you're having a hard time overcoming, every part of you is addressed while you're dreaming. And your dreams are your built-in helpers, your built-in therapists, your built-in brutally honest best friend, your built-in spiritual advisor, um, just helping you navigate life and reach your purpose and become the person you were put on this earth to be.
I always, and I'm also a big fan of journaling, and I know that that's your practice as well, right? So
Yes.
that when you journal from your dreams, so just to the audience, what do you find the benefit of kind of journaling your dreams? What's the actual benefit of that?
There's a lot. First and foremost, it's just fun because, you never know what you're going to get when you wake up and start remembering the dreams you had. But of course, you want to journal them because if you don't, you're going to forget them. Dreams are just slippery by nature and they just dissipate within 90 seconds of waking up. So you have to journal them to document them, capture them, keep them. And I also highly recommend that you journal your dreams along with your day because they're connected. You have your day, you're just kind of going through your life, la la la, trying to live your life, but then your dreams are the extension of the day where your very wise dreaming mind steps in and says, okay, let's go over what happened today and let's, point out what you did wrong and see how we can correct it. And let's come up with ideas to do this. So when you journal your dreams with your day, number one, you're able to connect the dots between what happened in your dream to what happened in your day, what you talked about that day, what you felt that day. Um, you'll start over time recognizing patterns in your dreams, which also help you recognize patterns in your life and in your behaviors. Um, you are able to measure your progress by documenting your day along with your dreams because dreams react to the day. So when you start progressing in any area of your life, your dreams will mimic that. And so it's just a wonderful way to document the whole self and to really persevere, to learn how to trust yourself, to be able to conquer the past. It's, your one-stop shop for self-improvement.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think always as a starting point is any tools that you can have in life, one life that we have, to become self-aware. That's a
Mhm.
starting point. That's a starting point. And then from there, you can begin to shape and have some sort of control on the things that we can control, the things that we can moving forward. I remember, it was interesting. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love the dreams. It wouldn't happen often, but the ones that I would kind of consciously be able to control. It's like, oh, I'm here on this
Oh, yes.
right? I'm here on this pirate ship. Oh, I could take all this gold and I could fly and I can. So that doesn't happen often. So what is that called? What is that? What is that
Okay, so
process?
that is called lucid dreaming. When you are in the dream and you are aware that it's a dream, and then you can take over. And it's the most amazing experience. It is the coolest state of consciousness there is, because you are conscious at the same time you're in your subconscious. So it's a lot of people become lucid. They become aware that they're in a dream within a really bad dream or a nightmare. And then they use that awareness to wake up, which is the worst thing to do. You want to instead take advantage of this unbelievable opportunity to face your demons, to slay your dragons. So when you're in the midst of a frightening dream, you face that axe murderer or whatever it is that's going on, and you say, okay, what are you? Tell me what you are. What are you trying to tell me? And you're going to get an answer, guaranteed. It's the way you can have a conscious conversation with the subconscious higher self. And the profound messages that you will receive, as well as the inspiration, the ideas, the ability to overcome fears, phobias, weaknesses. It's beyond measure. It is the coolest, most powerful experience I think that there is.
Yeah, because I think, everyone has different mechanisms, and, there's a journey of to kind of come to like ego death, if we want to call it. And I
Yeah.
think, right, if it's just so raw, then you're able to naturally get to that place. What is, I know you mentioned nightmares. Why do people have nightmares?
We have nightmares because we have difficult issues in real life. And our nightmares are connected to, they are caused by and trying to help us with our most upsetting, difficult, and mishandled issues. That's why nightmares are so horrible to experience, because the dreaming brain forces us to face and deal with that which is upsetting, that which we are mishandling, that which we are ignoring, that needs to be corrected. The subconscious dreaming mind is not like complacency, and it doesn't like it when we are weak and when we are just not handling something and when we are not in charge. So it will step in the form of a nightmare when we're dealing with something upsetting. And it's like the way the subconscious smacks us in the face and says, okay, enough. We have to correct this already. So the nightmare is the most important dream of all, and it is there to help you conquer that which causes you to feel powerless.
Just a quick reminder, this is the Common Denominator podcast. If you're enjoying this episode, please give us a 5-star rating review on Apple Podcasts and check out our new Common Denominator Instagram page. Thanks, and now back to the show. For many years, I did have the dream that there was this kind of figure that was chasing me. A lot of people have that dream. Only the past couple of years have I not had that dream. What would you say, I guess, because again, it is a typical dream. Is it some sort of fear that was inside of me that I'm running away from? How would you translate that type of dream?
Typically, the being chased dream is caused by an avoidance in real life, something you don't want to deal with. It can even be caused by something from your past you wish to distance yourself from. But you haven't dealt with it or processed it properly in waking life, so it still very much exists within you and torments you to some degree. So when we run from, avoid, or push down and ignore negativity and that which is difficult for us, it doesn't go away. It's there. So the nightmare is the way your subconscious is trying to get your attention.
I'll tell you, and I had another dream which was which was interesting. It didn't feel like a dream. It felt completely real. I wasn't feeling well. I went to sleep one night, and I looked over at there was a light coming from somewhere, and it was actually on my hand. My hand was like translucent, and there was no feeling of past, present, or future. It was just complete bliss. And it seemed like the more I wanted it, and I woke up, it seemed like the more I wanted it, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna not let you have this feeling and wake you up. And that feeling of bliss trailed with me for a couple weeks. It was that was
Were you
something
aware
amazing.
that you were dreaming at this point?
I would say I was no, it felt completely real.
Okay. It was your hand. Was it your right or your left hand?
My right hand.
Okay. So you're looking at your right hand and it's translucent and it
Yeah,
also
completely
has
lit up.
light, right?
Yeah, like a light, completely.
Okay. Tell me your exact thoughts in the dream at that point.
I would say just no thoughts, like flow, like bliss, exactly that point. Just euphoria. Just amazing. Peace.
Do you recall any sort of accomplishment in real life at that time?
I mean, I would say, I was someone that ran away from many of again, my fears, my emotions, again, through many, many years of work. Facing now, that's who I am. Now I just want to face whatever it is right in front of me. So there have been many, many levels of that. I assume in real life I had done something emotionally, internally that had brought that upon me. Just a sense of relief that came
Yes.
over me.
And the hand and I can never hammer this home enough that specifics matter. So your hand would likely have represented the fact that you handled something finally. You
Right.
handled it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanna go back. I mean, it's super fascinating topic. How did you tell me about your backstory? How did you kind of get into this space, kind of analyzing dreams and fascination with it?
So I was just always a very vivid dreamer. I was able to remember my dreams since 2 years old, and I was always paying attention to them. I would draw them. And then when I got a little older and was able to write, I would start keeping a dream journal. Of course, I had no idea what a really good thing I was doing for myself by documenting the other side of my mind. Um, but what propelled me to study dream psychology was when I was 19 and my grandfather died. And he was the first death close to me I'd ever experienced. And we were close, we were very close. And I went into a very deep depression. About 2 weeks after his death, I had this dream where I knew he had died, but I was getting the chance to talk to him. And we're in this museum and we're walking arm in arm. And I ask him what it's like where he's at. And he says, I can't tell you that, but what I can tell you is that it's secure.
Mm.
And then he gave me a hug and he started walking up the staircase. And I woke up and I could still feel him and I could smell his old spice. And the dream was kind of still there as I was awake. And it was like no other dream I've ever experienced. And I laid there for a very long time thinking, wow, what was that? So that's what made me want to study dream psychology. I wanted to find out, why do we do it? What is it? What is the purpose? Are we going somewhere? Just what is it? And so, long story short, I studied dream psychology. I was super impressed with how practical dreams are. In addition to being kind of ethereal and magical, they're very, very practical. And so I made a career out of it because there just wasn't many people at the time. This was back in early 90s. There really wasn't much out there available. There were, dream dictionaries, but they were all about their future and, like they were like those machines where you put in the corner and you get your fortune. That's what the dream dictionaries were like back then. So ever since, I've been trying to mainstream dreaming. and get
Yeah.
people to pay attention to this part of themselves. And that no, it's not gobbledygook. It is very, very real and is very powerful.
We've had some guests on the show, and they kind of promote, ayahuasca and other means to get to that kind of other place. And I think of
Yeah.
an alternative, and maybe to reach out to you or people that are practicing in dream psychology to begin to that core, because that could be an alternative to get to the core of who you are, that self-awareness,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely, if you want to get to that state without any sort of drug, naturally, just start paying attention to your dreams. And the way to do that, because a big problem that people have is that they can't remember their dreams or they think they don't dream. But you do. Every single night you're dreaming. It is a natural, necessary function of the brain. You enter REM dream sleep every single night, whether you remember it or not. And so the way to start remembering your dreams, because that's so much insight and guidance and wisdom that you're not benefiting from, that's available to you every single night. So when you wake up, whether it's in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or you're waking up for good to start your day, you need to give yourself at least 3 to 5 minutes of time in bed. And even more importantly, you want to remain in the exact same position you woke up in, because that is the position your body was in when you were dreaming. If you move your body, it's like unplugging yourself from the dream you were literally in seconds ago. Because, there's that mind body connection. So you got to stay in the same position. Give yourself 3 to 5 minutes of quiet, still time. Let the dream come back to you. And even if all you remember is there's something about a dog, great, write it down. And it's like working a muscle. The more you do this, the stronger your dream recall muscle will get. And you'll start remembering your dreams more and more every single morning. And you just make it a new part of your morning routine. And it doesn't take long, just an extra few minutes. And it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
I love that. I know you've also had the privilege of working with some celebrities. Any cool stories?
Well, my favorite, only because I'm such a big fan, was Meat Loaf.
I saw them in concert, actually. So
Did
good.
you?
Yeah, so good. So good. That was years ago, but yeah, so good.
I had a pet tarantula when I was in high school that I named Meatloaf.
Wow.
And I got to tell him about it, and he thought it was very strange. But anyway, so he had this recurring dream where he would be naked on top of a bus that's flying down the street. And he can't get anyone, to help get him off the bus. And it was a very frustrating dream for him. So what we figured out it was connected to was we associated the bus with his tour bus. And he's on top of it, and he's yelling at people to help him because was a personality type. He was always go, 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 go. And he was always trying to get on top of his people to get things going in his career. And he's naked in the dream because he's very vulnerable to them. He depended so much on them. So it was a very frustrating dream for him, but it just reflected his drive and his determination to keep moving forward with his career. And I wish he were with us still because he was so great.
Amazing. What's something that you're grateful for?
Oh, I'm grateful for so many things. I'm grateful for this path I found in dreaming. I'm grateful that I was just born being very in tune to it. I'm grateful for my husband, who's been the biggest supporter, my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, my biggest believer. I'm grateful that people are, and I've been doing this a long time, since early 90s. I am grateful for people with open minds.
Amazing.
Because they, help us evolve.
Yeah, I think that was something my wife and I were talking about. In order to be, and everybody, the idea to be a critical thinker, to be open
Yes.
Of things that are possible. We have to know systems, know conclusions, how the way things kind of work. But I'm a big believer of pushing limits and questioning things all the time. And I was reading recently.
Question everything, yes.
That's right. That's right. And a good way to get rid of anxiety is actually just constantly listening to information, reading, writing, just pushing. It's unlimited, our brain, what we can take in. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So
it really is.
So don't be lazy. Don't be lazy on gaining knowledge. And it's not just from school. It's from everywhere. Learning, being an active listener constantly. I am super curious about everything, and sometimes I'll be up till 3 a.m. going down a rabbit hole about a certain random topic.
Yes. Yes.
So it's amazing.
I feel you.
Right? What is something about yourself that people don't know?
Something about myself that people don't know. So like something just interesting or that happened or
anything that's coming to you.
I'm a pretty open book. I share a lot about myself. I once sold Ringo Starr a statue of dancing pigs.
I like that. How did that transaction actually happen? That's a little bit out there.
My father used to own a gift shop in Beverly Hills. And I worked there for a couple years, and we sold high-end nature-related items. So one day, Ringo Starr and his wife come in, and we had displayed in the window as a statue this big, an alabaster statue of two pigs dancing, like ballroom dancing. And so he came in and wanted to purchase it to put on his piano. And he was unbelievably nice. So was his wife. And he also bought a bunch of other little pigs. He collects pigs, apparently. So we had a whole bunch of fun little pig items as well. So he bought a bunch of small pigs, too. And so that is my Ringo Starr story. And I may be one of the only people that can say that I sold pigs to Ringo Starr to put on his piano.
Love it. So I definitely encourage, super informative, Lauri. I definitely have key takeaways, so hopefully the audience does as well. And I definitely appreciate the time. And if people want to reach out to you or follow you on social, how could they do that?
So my social media, everything, Twitter or X, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook is all Lauri the Dream Expert, Lauri, Lauri the Dream Expert. I also do pinup art. So I paint you or the woman you love in the form of a gorgeous, glamorous pinup girl. And you can check out that on Instagram, pinups _by _Lauri. Once you type pinups _ I'll come up. And you can also find me and set up a private dream consultation with me. We'll do it over the phone or we can do it on Zoom. Just Google Dream Expert. And I'm number 1, number 2, and number 3. And it's LauriLoewenberg.com is my site, but Lauri Loewenberg's hard to spell. So just Google Dream Expert and I'll come up.
Well, thank you so much, Lauri. It's really been great. Thank you.
Thank you. And sweet dreams.
Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed my conversation with Lauri. Next week, I'll speak with Veronica Vega. Veronica lives a fascinating life. A few years back, she was a musician and a star on the TV show Love and Hip Hop Miami. Now, she swapped her microphone for gardening gloves and is pursuing a career in horticulture. She'll tell us why she thinks everybody should embrace a relationship with nature and how her mindset shift has empowered her to live with purpose. Please subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode and follow us on YouTube and Facebook at @mpopack, and on Instagram at Common Denominator. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon.